The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 111 of The Daily Mother, drumroll, Swole. Look at those guns. Look at those. Don't need a license for those. Or do I? Those should be legal. But they're not. They're not registered. But they are massive and they are canon. So thank you very much for staring at my arms and my armpits for the last 5 to 7 seconds. Today, discussing, that's actually kind of funny because I just literally, as I said, today we're discussing, I forgot what we're talking about. Wow, it's only been 111 episodes, and now I forget for the first time live on the air, unedited. Eat this before training, that's right, because I shot the shit a little bit on Periscope and Busker before, so I almost lost track of what we're doing. Usually I broadcast and boom, we start. Eat this before training. And it's not eat this, not that. What's up, Sam? It's actually, some styles of eating, what you should eat, because everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to be different with what you like to eat, what your body reacts to. And I've said this a few times. You don't necessarily, I'm not going to tell everyone, hey, go eat beef and you're a vegan. I have nothing against vegans, really. Like on an elemental level, I have nothing against it. I respect it. That's fine if it works for you. But you have to understand that I can't tell you, oh, eat this, eat like me. You might be allergic. You might have food allergies or food intolerances to some of the things that I eat. So it's really reckless for me to say, go eat these things. I will share with you and I will post pictures and I'll do Snapchat and my YouTube videos and I'll have things that I do eat and you can try eating like I do, but at the same time, it might not work for you, which is okay. You just have to put the time in to figure out what works for you. Eating before training could be a complicated thing because everyone's different there too. If you are training, resistance training, you could be one of two different people. You might like to work out more on an empty stomach. You might like to eat before exercising. If you're eating before exercising, it's a sensitive balance between eating how much you eat, including what you eat, and how long before. Because you really don't want to have food in your stomach, and that means is active food digesting, like eating a sandwich walking into the gym. You don't want to have food freshly in your stomach, and here's the reason why you generally want to have an empty stomach. Of course, everyone's different, and it depends on what food you're eating before you work out, which is going to relate to how quickly it digests and how quickly it absorbs into the bloodstream and so forth. But if you're eating right before working out, what happens is the food sits in your stomach. When your body eats food, when you consume, your body goes into digestion mode. It sends blood to the stomach, blood around the intestines, so your body can digest and absorb nutrients into the bloodstream, so your body, can shuttle those nutrients around to the muscles, to the liver, and wherever they need to go. If you are exercising, if you're about to exercise, your body is activating the sympathetic nervous system. Digestion is the parasympathetic, and I've talked about this in one of my earlier daily swoles, and activation or exercise is going to be the sympathetic nervous system where your body sends blood to the muscles. When you're exercising, when you're under exercise or physical stress, your body has about 80 to 90% of the total blood in the body. 80 to 90% of the blood in the body is in the muscles. About maybe 5 to 10% goes to the brain just for function, obviously, and staying awake. That's why if you have low blood sugar, you have less blood that's getting to your brain. That's why you might feel dizzy or lightheaded because there's less blood available to everything else. And if there's low sugar or low amounts of sugar in the blood already, you might get dizzy or lightheaded, which is your body saying, stop, slow down. I need more time to get the sugars that I need because there's less sugar overall and there's less blood available for my brain and for those body functions. So your body almost shuts you down. You have to sit down and relax before you can function again. If you are exercising and your blood's being pulled away from your digestive system as going to your muscles, you're not very good at digesting. You're not in a digestive mode, but now you have food sitting in your stomach. That's going to lead to full feeling. You might feel nauseous. You might feel like throwing up. your body is going to be torn between two different things. You're going to have literal food, physical food pieces, and could be a significant amount of food knocking around in your stomach, and it's going to give you kind of crampiness and give you like gas and air bubbles. It's going to make you feel nauseous. You're going to feel like ejecting it because your body is confused. Your body is trying to send blood to the muscles where it should be exercising, but it's confused because it has food in the stomach. So your body has to make a evolutionary decision and think, man, I'm fighting a tiger or a bear. I'm going to throw this up so I feel better and I can exercise. Okay? So you need to eat before working out, potentially. There's also fasted training, and I can get to that in a second. But you should keep that about 2 or 3 hours before your training. Some people are different. They like to eat an hour. This is where the personalization comes into play. You might like eating a little closer to your workout. Some of you might like to eat 3 or 4 hours before and have a bigger meal. That's where you're going to have that individualized play where you're going to have to figure out what you like best. But let's say a standard meal, let's say a basic meal would be sweet potatoes, some kind of protein, let's say it's chicken, fish, any kind of eggs, whatever it is, and some vegetables, whatever. A nice well-rounded meal for a decent amount of calories, 300 to 500 calories. You probably want to have that 2 or 3 hours before you work out. That way you have it out of your system digested through by the time you're hitting the gym. You might see in some of my videos, I eat some Sour Patch Kids. I have a little candy before I go to the gym for a little boost. I generally like to be more fasted, empty stomach, but I get a little sugar with the Sour Patch Kids, get a little pump, get a little blood sugar. That's my preference. That's what I like to do. It's like my little treat, so my little dog bone when I go to the gym. But fasted training is also an option. You can go completely fasted and do like 4 or 5 hours plus without eating. And that's generally really beneficial in the morning when you have to work out 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. You might wake up at 6 or 6:30, get your mind right, go to the gym. You might not want to get up at 3 or 4. That's ridiculous. You need to get your sleep too. So fasted, empty stomach type training is also possible. You can eat well the night before, and because you burn a few amount of calories at night, you will still have enough blood sugar in your body, and your body can saturate and take down from the muscle and from the liver and actually, go through a workout. I used to do fasted training first thing in the morning. Some people like to drink their BCAAs. Some people like to have a banana on the way to the gym. It depends on your body, but you can do fasted physical training and then just eat a well-balanced full meal with a lot of carbs after your workout in the morning. So you have options. I personally like to have a meal. I like to eat at some point. I do a lot sometimes when I wake up, maybe I sleep a little bit in, and I do a little bit of video editing, then I do the Daily Swole, and then I want to work out at 2 or 3 o'clock. By the time I'm done video editing for the Daily Swole and the podcast and some other things, might be 2 or 3 o'clock, and I want to go work out. So I'll have some Sour Patch Kids, I'll have my pre-workout, and then I go to the gym. I don't necessarily eat a meal before I go. And I have mixed emotions. Sometimes I feel like eating, sometimes I feel like I need to eat food, sometimes not. Yesterday when I was doing the hip bridges, if you saw my Periscope, you should check that out, my live Periscope yesterday. That'll be on YouTube eventually. I was doing 585-pound hip thrusts with the barbell. I didn't eat anything before doing that. I hadn't eaten all day up to that point. So that was that day, and sometimes it's a little bit different for me. But just so you know, you have to get used to that. If you're not used to working on an empty stomach, you might get lightheaded, you might get dizzy. You might feel great on an empty stomach, but everyone's different. Some people they don't feel good, and that's them. So everyone's a little bit different, but you can try it. Just understand that it's not bad for you unless you really don't feel good, but understand that it could take some time to adapt to your body regulating itself and being able to break down and release enough, glucagon in order to like break down glycogen and break down, sugar stores in order to fuel a workout on an empty stomach. So you might feel weird at first. It might take a little bit of time to adapt to that. So understand that you might need some adaptation period to be able to work out an empty stomach efficiently, but it is possible if, let's say, your job schedule changes and now you have to go to the gym first thing in the morning. I haven't figured out what's best for me before yet. So many variables. There are a lot of variables. The best thing to do is to have a meal that is really focused around carbohydrates and, a small to moderate amount of protein. But carbs before and after. A lot of people are hell-bent on this protein stuff. When you're eating protein, everyone's about protein shakes after workout, protein shakes. Really, it's carbs. It's carbs. Your body is not taking protein, just throwing. Your body has protein. Your body has food from before and food that it can help start rebuilding. It needs sugar. It needs to resaturate muscle glycogen. So you can have some protein after a workout, but a lot of people just have like a protein shake and they don't have the carbs. You need carbs after a workout. If you're doing weights, you're trying to build muscle, whether you're female or male, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, you need carbs after a workout. You need to refuel. And protein is not fuel, carbs are fuel, especially for weights, especially for lifting weights. You need carbs. Protein bites? The fuck of that? What's that? Protein bites? You mean food? You mean bites of protein? I mean, I'm assuming, honestly, you're talking about some supplement, some protein bar. I don't like any of that shit because it's not real. I don't like any of that stuff. I really don't like protein. I haven't taken protein powders in I haven't taken shakes or protein powders in a long time. Yeah, I haven't eaten I haven't eaten a protein bar in, I don't even remember. Could be a year or two. And I never really did. I never really liked protein bars. Powders are different. Protein bars are gross because they stay in a square all the time. That's nasty. You're going to put that in your body. It's nasty. I know I eat Sour Patch Kids, but at least I eat Sour Patch Kids for a purpose. I don't eat Sour Patch Kids expecting like a unicorn to come walking through the fucking living room. You know, people that are eating protein bars and protein shakes are expecting like, wow, I'm getting protein. I mean, if your body's absorbing half of it, you know, you're getting powdered, nasty shit. You know, understand, like, if you want protein, eat protein. That's my opinion. If you have $50 and you can buy protein powder, man, $50 for me, that's like shit. That's like 6 pounds of grass-fed beef. I'd take that over protein powder any day. Bars have more sugar than shakes. Well, first off, it's got to taste good. And second off, it's got to stick together. And, you know, I mean, bars have to stabilize more. Powder is like a dehydrated. You shake it up. All of it has a lot of sweetener. And here's the thing. If you've never had unsweetened protein, I can tell you that you can get like 93 or 97% isolate, whey isolate, unflavored. 97%. If you're getting a protein in the store and it tastes like cookies and cream, chances are every scoop, you're only getting about 70 to 80% protein per scoop. 20% of everything that you scoop, 20% of what you pay for is sweetener and artificial shit. So if you get unflavored whey isolate, it tastes like powdered asshole. It really does. I'm not clean asshole. It tastes like powdered, unflavored, shitty asshole. It doesn't taste good. It tastes like sand. It's true. It doesn't taste good because unflavored. Once you start getting or start trying unflavored stuff and unsweetened things, you realize how much they put in. It's not until you have unsweetened, right? It's not until you have unsweetened. You know, it's like anything else in life. You don't realize what you have until you don't have it. Everyone takes electricity for granted. And all of a sudden down here, you know, I'm mentioning electricity because, you know, we might have a hurricane, we take electricity for granted. All of a sudden, we don't have electricity. Oh my God, it's so hot. Yeah, it was like that for like 5 million years before we invented electricity. You know, so you don't realize what you're drinking or what you're consuming until you have something that's good or have something that's plain. So they're putting a lot of artificial stuff in there, a lot of artificial sweeteners. And, you know, aspartame, sucralose, all that stuff. I heard that when you stop exercising and eating protein, then your skin will be like old. I don't know what that means. That's English, but I don't understand what that means. Stop eating protein, exercising. I mean, you should never stop exercising, always be active. My point is, it's tough to get all that protein without drinking it, though. And if you're eating 5 or 6 small meals a day, and you don't need as much protein as you think you do, you need more carbs. Carbs and fat. Carbs and fat are what you really need. You get more energy and more value and more skin health and more overall health from eating quality, healthy fats and quality carbohydrates, vegetables, and moderate protein. You don't need 300 grams a day. You don't need 200 grams of protein a day. You know, even if you're 200 pounds, you might only need like 130, 150. Depends on what you're trying to do. How much muscle you're trying to build, what your goals are, what your body weight is, blah, blah. And if you have, like, let's say 120 grams of protein, 5 meals a day, 20 grams of protein, that's not much. That's like 3 eggs. Healthy fats, free, like pastured eggs, grass-fed beef, avocado, coconut. I mean, all those great healthy fats. If you like almonds and nuts and stuff like that, I personally don't eat those. I'm not a big fan. Fish, quality fish. It's just hard to get quality fish. Sardines. You get like quality sardines. That's probably the best fish you can get. Don't buy the stuff in the store in general. because that's all pretty much farmed and bland and wiped out of omegas. So just because you're eating fish, you're not getting fish oil from tilapia. You're not getting, fish oil from. You're not getting omega-3s from farmed salmon. Hate to break it to you. You're getting colored salmon. They add color to make the salmon look orange because it's white, because they feed it grain. You catch sardines from the Pacific Ocean. That's cool. That's cool. You can get wild caught. You can get wild caught and sustainably raised sardines. Do you take krill? No, I don't take any supplements. I eat a lot of grass-fed beef. But yeah, you get a lot of omegas in grass-fed beef. And grass-fed butter, you get like CLA and you get omegas from that as well. I don't take krill supplements. You can, but you need to make sure you're getting it from a good source. You can get shitty oil too, and shitty fish oil. I forget the name of the fish oil I used to take. I might go buy it and start buying that again. I forget what it's called. Ascenta, or something like that. I used to get it at Vitamin Shop. But they give you like the number and like the tracking information and all the details from the testing that is done on every batch of fish oil. You can check and look into it. It's taken from like Alaskan or certain sources that are better sources for fish oil. They're not, but everything's, if you think about like oil spills and stuff and everything's potentially poisoned, you take it for what it's worth. I find it makes me think better. I notice it. Okay. Yeah. Good. Nordic. Yeah. That's a good brand. I believe. At the same time, it's all marketing too. So how good is it really? Unless you do the test yourself in your own lab, you got to take someone's word for it. So when can you really trust anything? That's the problem. You could say, oh, this got certified by this got certified. Yeah, well, a lot of big agencies say this, that, and the other, and then under the table, they're jerking someone else off. It's just, you have to literally trust a company, which is like trusting a person, which is really hard to do because you really shouldn't trust many people. So no matter what anyone says or puts on a bottle, just because it looks nice or it's advertising, even the brand that I was talking about, when they say, oh, they track and this and the other, how many people actually look up those numbers? I mean, they could look up a number from a site that says this and the other. God, everyone can get a website on the internet. How do you know what's real in it? How do you know what's fake? People make fake bank sites that look like Bank of America, and they're bogus sites, and they steal your information. It's like, who knows anymore? You do your best. It's not going to hurt you, chances are. Most importantly, it is good to get those things in. And whatever, if you take something and it feels better for you and you like it, then keep taking it for sure. Like if you take a krill oil and I really like it, then do it. Third-party testing, let's do it. Okay, you pay for it. I eat mud. You know where you are. Yeah. I just stick to real food as well. And, real food has its own challenges already. Bottom line is you are eating something substantial before you work out. That way you're fueled. Carbs before and carbs after. Moderate protein, make sure you're eating a whole food meal. But if you eat earlier. Don't go into the gym on an empty stomach. But make sure you're getting some carbs, good things before a workout, depending on how you feel. You could have something like, if you're bulking, you could have something like pasta if you're down with that. You could have oatmeal. You can have brown rice if you like that. I prefer white rice. You can have sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. I look better. I lean out. I look full. My body just reacts to sweet potatoes. White rice, meh. I like it. My body digests it, but I don't feel like I don't feel amazing results from white rice. Oatmeal, the same thing. When I eat a sweet potato, my body changes. If I don't eat, I test it. When I don't eat sweet potatoes for a little while, because I just get lazy in baking them, which is the easiest thing in the world. If I get lazy, my body just flattens out a little bit. I feel soft. When I start eating more sweet potatoes, I just lean out. I get full. I blow the fuck up. You fucking lesbian. You're an idiot, dude. Jesus Christ. Fucking morons on Periscope. I used to not block people, and now I block anything. Anything. I block everything now. I'm so over it. A glass of milk that I see, I wouldn't recommend that, but if you don't crap your brains out from the dairy, then go for it. I wouldn't recommend. You're just getting sugar from milk, but I guess it's carbs. Yeah, I block everyone now. So one thing, you can call me anything. You can call me a lesbian. You can make fun of me for it. It doesn't bother me. It just annoys me, the fact that someone is just sitting there doing that. They have nothing better to do with their life. It's depressing. Nobody eats 6 bananas at once. I used to eat a ton of bananas, but it's really just tons of sugar. I don't like bananas. I don't think they're really worth anything. I don't think bananas are. I mean, I don't think that's going to benefit anything but like a freaking monkey. We're not monkeys. It's just sugar. It's just sugar. If you like them, I used to eat bananas. I haven't eaten bananas in a long time. I miss nothing about bananas. What's the best fruit? The ones that aren't sprayed with 60 or 70 pesticides, which is pretty much everything. Best fruit? I love watermelon. But that's, not accessible to everyone. Berries are fantastic, but if you get really quality berries, but even the organic ones are all sprayed to shit. Conventional blueberries and strawberries are sprayed with like 70 or 80. Yeah, apples are sprayed with tons of pesticides and waxes and stuff. So, that's the thing. Pineapples are good. Pineapples are generally sprayed less. Anyway, we're talking about what to eat before. So make sure you're at least eating something substantial. If you're eating like more of a whole food meal that's bigger, just wash the fruit. That doesn't take the stuff off. The pesticides they spray on them are water repellent, so rain doesn't wash them off. So water's not going to wash them off. And plus, they're like in the fruit, in the skin, so a little water on the outside is going to run right off. Pesticides are water resistant for a reason, because if it rains, then all of a sudden you wash the fruit, you might get a chunk of dirt off, but you're not going to get rid of pesticides. What do I think of vegan bodybuilding? If you're down with it, that's fine. What do I think about it? I'm not going to waste my time thinking too much about it. You ain't going to get that big. I don't care what anyone says. Could be genetic. Vegan bodybuilding, I'm not going to just chew on vegetables all the time. We're human beings. We're designed to hunt and gather. It's just the way we're evolved. The reason why we can digest food is because we can digest meat. Whether or not you should be eating meat all day, every day, well, that's up for debate, I suppose. Well, thank you. I'll stay for a few minutes after on Periscope and Busker because the conversation is kind of going a little bit off. So if you have a couple questions afterwards, I'll stick around. But eating before training, make sure you give yourself a little bit of time. Make sure you give yourself a little bit of time to digest. Better not to work out on an empty stomach. Better to work out on more of an empty stomach because your body has more ability to activate the sympathetic nervous system and saturate the muscles full of blood. So depending on what you eat will depend on the time before, but generally 2 or 3 hours. Depends if you watch the replay of the Periscope or the Busker, and you can see that. And I will see everyone tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Time for episode 112 of The Daily Mother Swole. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Another.